everyone, and a big welcome back to the channel. I'm Mr. Sensible. Today we're going to have a look at what seems to be a one-man university. A guy called Roger and Mud Fossil University. I wonder if my amazing patrons studied there. I think not. With appreciation to my patrons, including new patrons Blair Sadovitz, Brian Rulke, Critical Analysis, David Cooley, Duranku, Jason Downing, John Stock, John Tomczyk, Justin Neal, Lucky Jack Aubrey, Mark Adrisioko, Mike Apple, Paul M. Rowe, Peter Lennox and Tom C. And my newest patrons, Bjorn Kamitz, Edwulf Sledgeverter, James Holman, Michael O'Quinn and Strongle. Thank you all so very much. So, Roger, he has all sorts of theories. Red rain is blood from aliens. There's all sorts of mud fossils around from giants that are still bleeding. Some really weird and wonderful, some really weird stuff on there. Anyway, we're going to have a look at his theory about Uluru, Ayers Rock. Take it away, Roger. Roll VT.
Alright, this is Roger, Mud Fossil University, looking at Australia, Uluru, which is others call it Ayers Rock, and Alexander ND Travel.
Roger, I'm not sure if you're the dean of this university or one of the professors or tutors, maybe even one of the students. Hell, the person who comes and empties the bins. But surely you can work out how to show a video without filming your screen. I'm sorry, but already my hopes are starting to fade about your university.
And it's nicely done. Here goes. Now what they're going to do is fly over here, and I'm going to just show you real quickly. It'll only take a second. They're going to come out here to this area right out here, and okay, this is good enough. You see these things coming down here? This is hard tissue.
What are you talking about, Willis?
Now I'm going to show you. Well, let me show you what it looks like in biology. All right, this is the kind of tissue that you have in the heart, and they're bands. They wrap around like a big rubber band, and the whole thing does this. Hold on.
Wow, are you a heart surgeon, Roger? It's all like rubber bands and does this.
All right, you saw how this, it's something to do with this structure somewhere in there. These kind of things going over in the Ayers Rock.
Honestly, Roger, forget about all this mud fossil rubbish. You should be in university teaching biology.
Now this is the cardiac muscle. You see how they have all these little spots, and I'll show you what happens when it erodes.
I must be nearly qualified. I know that hearts have got rubber band things, so it goes like this, and little black spotty things. Excellent.
You see, that's the cardiac tissue, and that is the cardiac muscle.
Is it, Roger? To me, it looks like a bloody great rock that's been eroded.
You could see, I mean, it's virtually identical, except it's eroded. Those spots in the center of each of those places have eroded out. There's another spot on ears. There's some kind of a blood vessel there, something along that nature.
Well, this mud fossil geology is easy, isn't it? Ooh, that's just some kind of blood vessel. How long does it train to be a mud fossil geologist, Roger? And where did you train?
Some more erosion of the cardiac muscle. Now this is where the cardiac muscle hooks in. Now, I'm going to show you a heart. Hold on, I got it around here somewhere.
Roger, did you just say you have a heart lying around somewhere that you're going to show us?
Now, the crazy thing about this is they all have that. I don't know why. You see the black spots? This has the same thing. You see, and you can't see. There's dimples in there. You really can't see because they're too small to see. But
so that's a heart. That's a heart, is it? It looks to me no more than a pebble that you picked up off a beach.
You see the little black spots, and in between them, that is like this thing here eroding down like this. I'm not kidding you. That's what it is. It's the little black spot. What can I say?
Well, you could say, I'm sorry about all this. I'm going off to wash my head.
A heart is a heart. Some of them are big, some of them are small.
And apparently some of them are hill-sized lumps of rock in the middle of Australia.
I mean, that's heart tissue. I mean, it almost looks fake. It's like velour or something.
Or it could be arkose, which is a sandstone rich in feldspar, eroded from granite.
Anybody that knows about the mud fossils, this is just so obviously it's red flesh. And it happens to be the mud fossil heart muscle of a giant creature unknown to, I have no idea what it was.
Well, let's run with your theory for a moment. And if this is a giant heart somehow mud fossilized, where the hell is the rest of it? Why would just the heart be there? What about all the bones? You're weird.
I mean, you saw the banding, how it works, and the colors, and the vessels, and all of the erosion, and it is what it is. It's hard for the mind to accept this, but I'm telling you right now, you have to accept it because you cannot hide from it.
No, I don't. You just made a bunch of bold-ass assertions based on the fact that certain little bits of erosion you believe look like heart tissue with no evidence. So do I have to accept it? No.
Every rock you pick up is going to have some sign of life inside of it. I mean, there'll be lava and there's going to be other things. You're never going to understand what it is.
Every rock has signs of life, but you're not going to understand what it is. So instead of learning a bit of geology, you'll just make up crap.
But then there's other things like this. It's a bonehead. That's a bone.
Roger, I hate to tell you this, but I think the only bonehead around here is you.
Absolutely, case closed. It's a bonehead. There's nobody in their right mind doesn't understand what that is.
Well, we'll see in a moment what other people think of your theories. But before we do, just wrap up and tell us what you think of Australia.
That's a heart. That's a Luru. That's Ayers. That's Australia. And as I have said many times, Australia is so bloody, I call it a scab.
Roger, you're a rude idiot. You've just insulted millions of people in a beautiful country. So any of you out there that are from Australia, my apologies. It's certainly not a view I hold. Now, this fool, Roger, is so confident of his mud fossil and giant heart and crap like that. He's so confident of these theories, he's approached several universities. I wonder what the result was.
Hello, my good friends. An absolute revelation. I have been rejected by all of the universities, literally all of them. And I am just right down the street from Yale, and there's a fellow down there, Professor Derek Briggs.
Well, I assume that's because Professor Derek Briggs is not a chuffing idiot. He's not going to waste his time on this crap. Why am I? You, Roger, must be super endowed with Dunning Kruger power. I can only imagine how embarrassed they felt when you presented them with this steaming pile of shit.
Absolutely refuses to examine the mud fossils.
Give it up, Roger. You're going nowhere with this. But Roger is nothing if not confident. We're going to briefly look at physics. Apparently Roger knows all about that as well. And a prize that he thinks he is due.
Red alert, red alert, red alert, red alert.
Hello, my very good friends. This is a fabulous day for me and Mud Fossil University and Rodney Warren because it looks like we might be getting Nobel Prizes. It looks like we might be getting Nobel Prizes. It says here, if you can explain this using common sense and logic, do let me know because there is a Nobel Prize for you. Now, this is the Royal Institute.
Well, if you, as a lame-ass YouTuber who thinks he's running a university and believes that there's fossil giants laying around, if you can explain the double slit experiment using logic and common sense, then yeah, perhaps you should get the Nobel Prize. Do tell us how you get on. But I think that's enough of you today, Roger. I really do. Well, we've seen angry idiots like that guy and Write the Hand, who obviously don't know what they're talking about. But this guy, his Dunning Kruger is off the scale. I have never seen anyone as mistaken as he is, and yet having full confidence in their abilities. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you haven't already, remember to hit like. Please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell, and mini-me down in the corner. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Until then, stay sensible.
Shut up and sit down.